All right, good morning, people of YouTube. So we are back again today with a deck profile slash tournament report. So I competed at MysticTCG, their store championship tournament, and I took first place with Gaiomon slash Blackwargreymon. This is an OTK slash control deck. It's mostly focused on OTKing, but it has a controlled backbone. And yeah, it's been my favorite deck the entire format. So this was a comfort pick for me, but it's also a deck that I very much believe in. And talking with my local community, I think we've decided this is definitely a top 3 deck of the format. Um, but yeah, big shout out to Mystic TCG for hosting the event. They were super cool. You know, the Bandai app didn't do what it was supposed to do, and the tournament staff did an amazing job just working through it and making sure the event ran very smoothly. So big shout outs to them. And also they decided to give massive pack payout for the tournament. Like anybody that went X1 or better just got a bunch of packs. So for winning the event, I got 40 packs, which is insane. You know, 24 of those packs being a sealed box. I pulled the Altruist and the Okua, which is really, really nice. You know, getting the money cards. And I got the Alt-Art Merciful Mode, the Death X, and the Alt-Art Death X as my notable hits from the 40 packs. Along with this big old stack of super rares and a single Cool Boy, just one Cool Boy out of 40 packs, which is a little unfortunate. But, you know, everything else is great. You know, I got these nice tournaments or champion stamp packs or champion stamp cards. And, yeah, just really, really happy to have my invites, so don't really have to stress about that anymore. But for the tournament, my round 1, I played the mirror match. Basically, how that game went is I got my resources better and faster than my opponent did because I played more rookies, and that allowed me to choke them out a lot better and see my pieces. So I got a clean 2-0 in round 1. Shout out to my round 1 opponent, Andrew. He is a big believer in this deck as well, and somebody that I've been testing this with a lot. So I've been bouncing theories off of him, and it's partly because of him that I came this far. So yeah, my round 1 opponent, super cool. Gaiomon mirror match. It just, you know, we kind of saw our pieces, and we won that game. Round 2, I played against D-Reaper. This was a very skilled Magic player that was coming into this game and had a very, very solid understanding of just what he was supposed to do. If you've ever played Magic before, you know how complicated that game can be. And he was just able to jump right in and do everything D-Reaper was supposed to do correctly. So typically Blackwargreymon has a positive matchup against that. I wouldn't say it's a free win because spoilers, I will get into my round 3, which gave me a lot of trouble because I didn't see my pieces quickly enough, and my opponent was playing just very well. But, yeah, round 2 was also pretty hard fought. It basically came down to a game-winning play that I had in my hand on our game 2 so that I could seal it up 2-0. Had I not had that specific card, which we will get into whenever we get into the profile, we would have been going into a game 3, and maybe the results would have been different. But he was a super cool dude, and he definitely gave me a run for my money. In that matchup, it's really cool because you can get this security attack Greymon from this original red starter deck on top of this Greymon X antibody. Like, you can put this X antibody on top and have a 6,000 DP security attack +1 Digimon, which against D-Reaper, there are only a couple cards in the deck that you can hit that will delete you in security. Those being Death X, Reaper itself, and Creep Hands, being the only cards that'll actually stop you from just blowing through their security. So I was able to kind of rush down with that strategy while building up a good stack in the back, and that is how you really want to play that matchup. I also get a lot of people asking, you know, tips and tricks on how to play this deck, and I will go ahead and get into some of those in the card by card. But basically, the ideal start for this deck is you want to evolve into a rookie that is not Agumon X Antibody, ideally, and then play a Cool Boy. That is the perfect turn 1 play, because doing that, you get to promote, potentially evolve into the X antibody, get all of your combo pieces, draw a bunch of cards, and then get like this Greymon X antibody stack going. And that is actually what I was able to do to just swing tempo into my favor in the D-Reaper matchup, which is D-Reaper's typically pretty fast, contrary to popular belief. So, was able to seal that one up. Round 3, I played against another D-Reaper player. At this point, most of the Alphamons had actually been eliminated. Going into the tournament, there was a pretty wide variety. I think there was one Grandis player, I think 2 Metalgaruru X's. There was 2 red-yellow hybrid Rise Greymon Sunrise Buster esque decks there. And that was really cool to see, and one of them made it to semifinals. There was like 3 or 4 alphas. There were 2 Gaio players, one of them being me. There was an Armor Rush, and then, like 3 people that were playing D-Reaper, and then 1 Beelstar. But I got paired up against 2 D-Reapers in a row. This matchup actually went into a Game 3. The exact same game-winning play that I used to win my Game 2, or my Round 2 in Game 2, I used to win my Game 3 in Round 3. So, again, that is going to be one of the most valuable cards in the deck, and I have a lot of opinions on it, so we'll go ahead and get into that in the deck profile. But Round 3, again, was against D-Reaper. In Game 1, I believe, I just got outrushed. I couldn't see a level 4, so at one point I was resulting in hard playing a Metalgarurumon, which didn't bode well for me. So, and the rest of the game, Blackwargreymon just did Blackwargreymon things. I was able to punch over bodies. I cleared a Mother stack, and he was able to make another one, which was terrifying. I've never seen Mother promote and be able to do that so quickly, but shout out to my opponent, because he was just very, very skilled at piloting that deck. So props to you, man, because that honestly could have gone either way. Going into my Round 4, I played against Beelstar, and I learned after my Game 1 that the down pair had beaten the round up, so this was going to be the final round of the tournament. So, and I also learned that there was a bunch of packs on the line. So I lost my Round 1 because I tried to play this deck correctly. I tried to get the Gaio stack and swing in for like 5 security checks and win the game by, Gaiomon doing Gaiomon things. So I made the big Blackwargreymon first, had 15,000 off the promo Agumon and this Koromon, swung in and died to Death X twice in Game 1. So I said, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to play this deck wonky. And Game 2, I rookie rushed him down just by playing a bunch of Agumons to search a bunch of cards, and then evolving those cards to draw off a Cool Boy, and then playing more Agumons. And I was able to just beat him down, get the secure victory in Game 2. And then in Game 3, I had to have double Agumon in play while he had the Jawalt in his grave. And I hard slammed a Metalgarurumon for 8, giving him like 5 or 6 memory, right? And so by doing that, I ensured that he wouldn't be able to cast a 7-cost option to kill the Metalgarurumon, and also drop the Beelstar to get the Jawalt out of his grave, because he only had like 5 7-cost options at that point. So it was one of those situations where he was at 0 security, and I put him in a position where he couldn't clear my entire board. And then after that, he revealed that he couldn't draw into the rest of his copies of Beelstar anyway. So it was a very hard-fought victory. All of my opponents were super cool. But yeah, that's the tournament report side of the video. Let's go ahead and get into the actual card-by-card of what I was playing. So, starting with the eggs, I got the 4 copies of the bt9 Koromon. You want to have the extra 1,000 power so that this card can hit 15, and this card can hit 16, respectively, when you have the promo Agu in your stack. Or if you get the Metalgarurumon X antibody boost, you can get even bigger, which came up a lot. So the Koro is definitely the preferred egg. You don't need more than 4. And that's really the only one you should be playing in this style of deck. I have 4 copies of Agumon X Antibody. This is the most important rookie in the deck. Lets you search when you Digivolve if you do it on something that is in the battle area. And, it's a good rookie to play. This card, I can't tell you the number of times that I was able to just open Agumon, evolve it, and then either evolve into a Greymon or play the Cool Boy, and then be able to set up the big Agumon play next turn by either hard playing another one, getting more searches, and then evolving into this guy, or just promoting the Agumon and evolving into it. So this is the most important card of the deck, and it outperformed all day. So the next most important rookie is we have the BT5 Agumon at 4 copies. Searches your Greymons and your Omnis. It's a pretty good card. I like it. Next, I played 2 copies of the Black Agumon from BT8. So I'm back and forth on this card. Sure, you need black sources for Blackwargreymon in order to win the Alphamon mirror, or the Alphamon matchup, because if you have a black source and you're able to pop Tamers, and Cool Boy is a 2-cost Tamer, so you're able to clear 3 Cool Boys by evolving into this, which is kind of insane and will just auto-win you that matchup right then and there. So you need at least a black card in your stack in order to be able to do it. So I do like this card for that. Also, whenever you need a piece and you have to dig, this is the best card you can play because it sees 4 cards instead of 3 like all of your other ones. So you just have a higher likelihood of hitting what you need. So I do like this Black Agumon, but I think it is the weakest out of all of my rookies. And then next we have 4 copies of the Promo Agumon. This card is bonkers. There's no restriction on your 2,000 gain. It just has to be a Greymon card, which is the point of the deck. So play 4 copies of this card. Just do it. People think that they might be able to get away with the starter deck Agumon from the Gaiomon deck, but that card does not allow you to swing over Mother. So you will see Mother. So be prepared for that. Play this Agumon. It's good. I do play 14 rookies, which is higher than most Blackwargreymon players do. But if I didn't play 14 rookies, I would have lost the entire tournament. This is a deck that you need to be flexible. These cards allowing you to see your combo pieces, allowing you just sheer amounts of advantage, and also being able to just kind of bum rush your opponent in times of crisis is just great. So I would absolutely not cut down on my rookie count. It's one of the big reasons that I won today. So going on into the level 4s, I have 4 copies of Greymon X Antibody. This card is probably the best level 4 in the deck. Giving myself protection against Beelstar was great in theory, but I kept dying to just DP insecurity against them by just hitting Def X's, which is just unfortunate, but it protects you against everything else, and this card made me feel a lot safer going into this current meta. But also, it's just really good to be able to evolve over your other Greymons to just have a level 4 with a sick inheritable. So the other Greymons that I do play, I play the 4 copies of the starter deck 1 Greymon, which gives me security attack +1. And that's ultra important. You want to clear entire security stacks in 1 turn. And this card allows you to do that in combination with your Tai, your Gaio, Blackwargrey's Double Swing. This card is just insane. And again, you can evolve X Antibody on top of it and just have a really good stack. And then the last level 4 that I'm playing 2 copies of the Black Greymon from BT8. This card gives me blocker, either on X Antibody or anything else. Turning X Antibody into a blocker was really pivotal in my D-Reaper matchups. It also works really well with Gaio because Gaio has Reboot. So that also very much helped. And yeah, only 10 level 4s. I felt like this was a little bit low throughout the day. If I could bump any of them up, I would bump this Blackwargreymon up. And I feel like playing black cards in your level 4 lineup does not hurt as much playing it in your level 3 lineup, because this deck is required to play this copy of Metalgarurumon, so which can evolve over black cards. So this Greymon is great, and if you need to evolve it into a red card, you can just slap X Antibody on top of it. So that's always nice. Going into the level 5s. So I do have 3 copies of the BT8 Metalgarurumon. This is mandatory at least 3, if you want my honest opinion. The D-Digivolve and then pop something is absurd. It's popping by DP 3000 or less, which means it's not level-based, so it actually helps against D-Reaper. The D-Digivolve helps you deal with lots of board states. I made the Beelstar player very, very sad whenever he swung into my security, hit a red memory boost, passed me with 2 memory, right? And so, no, I think he only passed me with 1. And I was able to promote my Greymon, evolve it into X Antibody, gain a memory off of Cool Boy, go up to 2, pop off my memory boost, go to 4, evolve into Metalgarurumon, D-Digivolve his Eismon Scatter Mode, and then pop the Gabumon underneath it. So he was only able to draw 1, discard 1 off his Demimera, and he missed out on a lot of discard potential. That's just one of the examples of why this card's Wind Digivolving effect is great. I haven't even gone into its Inheritable. This Inheritable will make your D-Reaper matchup so much easier. One of the main reasons this deck is so good against that specific archetype is because you get the ability to swing over unsuspended Digimon, letting you clear Mother. This card is also really great because it makes it so that your opponent can't leave anything they're building up unsuspended. They literally have to either build it in Raising or go in, and if they don't do that, then they just lose everything they've been working for. So this card is absolutely mandatory at least 3. Plus, it is a black card, so if you miss this Greymon and this Agumon, you're likely going to see this card and be able to get Blackwargreymon have the black sources so that he can pop the Cool Boys in the Alphamon matchup. I was very prepared to play Alphamon today, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't, because I feel like I would have had an easier time against it, to tell you the truth. And this card, not only is it good against D-Reaper, it's good against Alpha, it's good against so many things. Play this Metalgarurumon at least 3. For the next level 5, that is a Metalgarurumon, I play the 1 copy of Altruist Mode. I think this card is only necessary at 1, but if I were to bump any level 5 in the deck up, it would be either this card or the X Antibody. I'm only playing 7 level 5s, being these 4 Metalgarurumons and the 3 copies of X Antibody. So, one of the reasons for this is because you really only need a couple level 5 stacks in order to win the game. A lot of times you can just stack them on top of each other and then swing for entire security stacks at a time, and then you only need like an Agumon or 2 to win the game. So as soon as you see your pieces, you're winning, and these are some of the pieces that you're digging for a lot of the time. But I didn't want to clump the deck with them, so I felt like 7 was a good number for me, and I didn't regret it all day. The 1 Altruist Mode saved me with its Inheritable a couple times. People forget that it can, when Digivolve, pop something that is 5,000 or less. That came up a lot against D-Reaper as they were trying to flood me out. I was able to evolve into this, pop one of their like Searchers or Pendulum Feet, evolve into this, pop something else, and then evolve into this, get Security Attack +1, plus 3,000, and then swing in for just most of their stack. It was pretty nice. Yeah, the X Antibody, like, all of these cards are absolutely insane. And there isn't another Metalgarurumon, in my opinion, that is worth playing. I think you should only be playing these cards. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. We do have 1 more Digimon in the deck. I play the single copy of Omnimon X Antibody. So I'm not playing the Blitz Omnimon, and in retrospect, that was kind of a mistake, because that card would have helped me out a lot. But if you only have room for 1 level 7 in this deck, I feel like Omnimon X Antibody is by far the more important pick. This card came up all day. There was 2 matches that I just won. One of them being the mirror, and one of them being my second round D Reaper opponent in game 1. I evolved into the X antibody, and he looked at his hand and he was like, "Man, I can play the Reaper, but I can't get around don't have enough attacks to win." And so I was like, "Try it." And so he swung into my security, and I kind of let that go through, and he hit the Gaia Force. So I popped his Reaper, and then I negated every other attack that he had, and then swung for game on my following turn. So this X antibody is insane. It is also an Omnimon card, which means that Greymon X antibody can protect it. So you get this big tower out, right, that they have to delete or bounce multiple times, and it can negate attacks. Nuts. It's so good. You have to play X antibody in this list. Yeah, if I had room for one more level 7, it would be the Blitz Omni. And that is the biggest change that I want to make into this deck, is to find room to put that card in. I just don't know where it is, because the rest of the cards are super important as well. Going on to the options and the Tamers. I have 2 copies of Taikamiya. So Taikamiya gives me 3 memory at the start of my turn and a extra security attack, which is insane. You can hit the extra security attack on the X antibody Metalgarurumon, which shouldn't really be allowed, but it is. So, yeah, you can just kind of rip through stacks easily. People say Blackwargreymon isn't an OTK deck. I beg to differ. I really do. Going on for the rest of the Tamers, I have 3 copies of Cool Boy. He is the coolest boy. He lets me draw so many cards. He gives me so many memory. And he lets me see my combo pieces, because there's an X antibody of every level in this deck, even level 7, that I want to hit. And Cool Boy searches all of them. I don't play the option X antibody, and the reason for that is because it allows you to Digivolve when you attack. Gaiomon can already do that. So why would I play that card? I guess it lets me go into Omnimon X antibody, but then I wouldn't get my win attacking effect because I would miss the timing. So I don't think the option is worth playing. That being said, I still think 3 Cool Boy are mandatory in this deck. It's the perfect number. I wouldn't... Like, you could even go up just so that you increase your odds of opening it, but at this point, I'd rather find room for the second level 7. For the options, I got 3 copies of Red Memory Boost. This card was insane all day. It gave me extra memory, helped me find combo pieces, unbrick me in a lot of situations. 3 is the bare minimum. I was playing 4 in the original build of this deck. I had to cut it to find space, and I feel like it was a good decision, given my results. But also, the main reason is to find room for the last 4 slots of the deck. We have 2 copies of Gaia Force. Nobody expected this all day. One of my opponents jokingly said, "What are you going to do? Drop a Gaia Force on me?" And then I hard played it from my hand and said, "Bet." This card is so good. I won so many games. There was one game in the game 3 against Beelstar that he had a Gaiomon and a scatter mode, and he swung with a scatter mode first, hoping that it would die, and he hit a Gaia Force, and I popped his Gaiomon, and then I did that Metalgarurumon play that I described earlier. And I did that to him that time as well. The Metalgarurumon play I did to him twice to win 2 different games, and he was very sad about that. But Gaia Force, spectacular card, but it is not as spectacular as the next card, which is Gaia Force 0. Shout out to my buddy Tom, because I texted him before the event and said, "Hey, do you have this card?" And he did, because I did not own like nearly any copies of this card before I opened my box after winning. And also shout out to Tom for telling me that I actually got into the tournament, because without him I wouldn't have even shown up. But what Gaia Force Zero allows you to do is in security it does the same thing as Gaia Force, but its main effect allows you to delete something with 13,000 or less and then declare an attack with a Greymon. So the big play that I was talking about that won me both my D-Reaper games. So in game 2 of round 2, I was playing against D-Reaper, obviously, and I swung in with my Blackwargreymon. I had this Greymon that I had just promoted as well. This was clearing the last securities, and I hit a Gatekeeper in his security. So he recovered. I made a play, deleted something, and then unsuspended this, swung again. Took out the last security, but because I didn't have anything to attack with for game, and he had, the Gatekeeper in play, everything had -1 security attack, I couldn't swing for game. So what I decided to do was evolve Greymon into X Antibody, tap my Cool Boy, try to dig for some more cards, and lo and behold, I drew Gaia Force Zero. I slammed that thing on the table, popped the Gatekeeper, gave my Greymon the security attack it deserved, and then swung for game, even though I had passed turn. This card is amazing. I was playing in round 3, game 3 against D-Reaper, and he had Mother with double blockers in play and no security. I had a single copy of Blackwargreymon in play. I said, attempt to swing for game. He goes, block with creep hands. I said, okay, Blackwargreymon's effect, I restand myself. Activate Gaia Force Zero, put you to 7 memory. Effect of Gaia Force Zero, pop your second creep hands, allow my Blackwargreymon to declare an attack for game. And he said, what? It was one of those moments that you play this rare that nobody has read, basically, and it catches everybody off guard, and that's exactly what I did today. Going forward, I would actually take out one Gaia Force for a third copy of Gaia Force Zero, because the extra attack to, get around anything that you want, except basically Oryuken. The only card that this doesn't delete when you play it from your hand is Oryuken, but this card will still delete Oryuken if you hit it in security, as long as they didn't evolve off of Dora Gray first, which hopefully that card is getting limited to 1 soon. But yeah, this is the deck, everybody. This has been my tournament report. Yeah, if you have any further questions about the deck, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to answer as many of them as I can. And thank you guys for watching me talk for like 25 minutes. But yeah, we will see you guys in the next time. Bye, everyone.